I swear. But somebody told me that it's over. I know it's true. You made me happy for a while. I remember fleeting times when we slept on top of cars. Now I don't know you, you don't know me too. I remember fleeting times when we watched the sparks so fire. Now I don't know you, you don't know me.
Nothing to see here. This sub-basement is... Oh, what would they do here? What's this? Look, a door. A door. A back door. Oh. I don't know, folks. This one's not a cut and dried mud flooder, but let's wait and see what we find when we walk around the town. All windows at low level. Nothing to see. Windows at almost street level. And midget door. Midget door. No, slightly dug in. Parish Church of St. Mary the Virgin. Again, we're going down a bit of a steep hill here. I mean, it's so likely a mud flood candidate. As you can see, the floor level drops off here at the end. So you'll be walking upstairs. It's, yeah, it has all the hallmarks of that, and the houses around here, the levels are all sort of reversed. St. Mary the Virgin. Actually, I was thinking about how when I was talking to that guy. Pee, that's a good pee.
Do cute.
Do the cue? Okay. Cue. Nice. Cue. Yes. T. T. Amazing. You. B. Yeah, another impressive, mysterious old building, and I wonder if we can find any evidence here of mud flood. Oh, this nice. Salvation Army owns this building now, what obviously was a church. Nothing to see here. Oh, they simply built another floor into the ground because it's much prettier to build churches halfway through the building. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Easy. That's probably just an anomaly. Someone dug down deep. Thought they'd put all these stairs down there and then make another little doorway over there underneath the walkway. This is a clever fire exit, you know, so create a basement, you need a fire exit. That's all they were thinking of. The new looking stonework on the side of the door there, don't pay any attention to that. This gangway bridge is just as old as this building, which is probably only about 25 if you believe the current historical narrative. But yeah, nothing to see there. The shop as well. Clearly you would want to build the shop at a higher level so that when people came past the shop they could see the goods on display very easily. They would ignore the window just below because that's obviously into the dungeon. And this is some of the lighting techniques we use because it's so much easier to have a basement than it is to have just another floor above you. Why not? What do you think, Alexander?
It was like, it was still hold it.
Yeah, exactly. The stairways don't make sense. Come on through. I'm just filming. Thank you.
This
Again, yeah.
and this here.
New bathroom showroom now open downstairs. Why downstairs? Well, why have you closed that all off there? Surely these are meant to be for windows. They're a beautiful place to have windows, and you don't need to worry about water coming in. Oh, another shop with the same problem. Not as big a window, but they seem to have taken the same precaution. It's common sense, right? E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Close them off because they become an embarrassment. They don't belong when there's a floor over here at this height. There's a floor at this height. None of these things make sense. Right. And then, yep, here you would see, obviously, they've closed off given up. Just close it all off. First floor, ground floor, at least. Simple as ABC. Here's the back of the building. Which is at least one story down. Cottage on the side, 1774. Destroyed by enemy action, 14 May 41. Interesting. Really? Which enemy? Which enemy? Because that's just very convenient, isn't it? So we're going off the ground floor apparently into at least one and maybe a half subfloors. Oh, friends. You don't have to see what I see, but I think some of you can. We're going to go to Mummy. This church is just... It's got a Reverend Karen James. You see that more and more, don't you? They fought for it.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's obviously retrofitted. That's not original to this building. 15, 16, 17,
Steal history
19,
by
20,
rubbing out certain numbers,
21,
uncomfortable numbers,
22,
and changing others.
24.
And we're meant to believe that this stone wall
25,
here
26, 29.
was built in 1807. And this is enlarged 1812? I don't know. 1849.
Oh.
If love is all we need, we need to seek love and be loved. And just being down here at the beach at the seaside, I feel the energy of love down here. This is going to sound crazy, but I was thinking, like, because we found a parking just above the town where it was free, I don't have that like weight of thinking, okay, my time is limited because I paid for 2 hours and I need to think about, I just can't sit here and be peaceful and feel the love. I just wanted to share that because I think the dissonance, the kind of low frequency, low vibration stuff that is brought to us in our everyday lives in so many varying ways is fundamentally what's going to rob us of ever finding our true love, our true divinity here. So yeah, I need to work on that, or at least be in that kind of like place where I've mitigated as much of those things as I can. We should all do that. Yeah, nice dog. He's loving it down here. yeah, be love. I don't know. I mean, there is like a sense, like that yesterday, that conversation I had yesterday in Arundel with that South African dude, former South African dude, or the one in South Africa, Sean, was a sense that, you know, like, oh, how much do we allow for the pontification of this tired, this tired model of belief in evolution? So much is kind of attached to it, and why, why is it such a fight to get people to see it as simply a belief system rather than a matter of fact? Gravity, he said, was a matter of fact. Or law. No, I don't think he said law, to be fair, but he says it was fact. And then, we get this about, scientific theories are fact until proven otherwise. It's like just whitewashing their minds of the truth of this. Oh, dear me. You got a little wet there, Zizi. That wasn't in the plan. I'm sure we got some spare trousers, but I have to take these off. Take them off. Okay. Mommy's not going to be happy with me. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that there should be love, but also this appropriate indignation, or this appropriate willingness to speak the truth and have it heard. How much of the turning over of the tables is metaphorical? How much of it is maybe like a ploy to pull people out, to get people to kind of go, yeah, we need to stand up in revolt? And then how much of that is like a new age, we shouldn't need to do anything but change our vibration and it will all be good? Trust me, friends, I do think about that and the appropriateness of certain types of actions to get the word out. At the same time, it's like after spending an evening with my 80-year-old aunt and uncle, people are so bolted on to this reality of theirs, in which space is real and Martians may come, and Boris Johnson is a savior and Donald Trump is a savior. We still live in a world of people like that. You're not really able to break the spell, or you risk shattering the glass by taking the pane out too roughly, And I think I have to feel like there's a kind of element of me that's like, can I, is that, I don't know, you can tell I'm, concerned to do the right thing. Perhaps I guess the overriding thing is I needn't concern myself too much with the nature of that, because ultimately that's going to take care of itself. Nature and God, the Creator, insert name as required, or language or religiosity requires you, but whatever power runs this, I know that it's kind of ultimately a good power, a good energy, and it's a loving, nurturing energy. We will see that come to its conclusion, or its zenith, or its return to glory or ascendancy. I think we'll see that, maybe not in this material human life story, but I'm not fixated on when it is, so much as, you know, how are we to play our part in bringing it to be, or doing the right thing by the design that we were created for, not falling into the traps set for us by man or monster, depending on your preferred ideology, thoughts about what's on the other side of the light. As I said to Sean yesterday, you know, I think I said it to him, there's only one creator, therefore all dark and light emanates from the same egg within the same egg. And I think now about a boiled egg, a hard-boiled egg, cut that through horizontally, or vertically. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but you end up with a white that is your frozen, can't go to area, and a slightly gooey yolk that is both hard and moisture. I've come up with an interesting theory of the nature of our realm and how the roof works. The other day, I'll probably talk about it later, but it's to do with how on the top of a lake, on top of a frozen lake, where you've got as we saw the other morning, a 5mm or more or less, but it works well with 5mm because it really brought home to me. So if you create this frozen roof, and then underneath the frozen roof you've got a captured pocket of air, and in that pocket of air you've got humans dwelling. How about that? Frozen roof above, and then, you know, the waters below. Eventually things get harder and more solid below, but it's just yeah. Yeah. What are you doing now? He's really enjoying the alphabet and the numbers. Well, he does so much of that. Creates the shapes, notices them around on signs and so on. Zizi.
No, Daddy, it's Mommy. Mommy one. It's Zizi. No, Zizi. Lucky one.
Lucky one.
And hands too.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm more and more kind of comfortable with the theory, I stress theory, that simply as you go upwards things get colder until a point of them becoming solid again, or some other form of matter or antimatter, and then as you head downwards things become hotter and gets more solid and more impenetrable in their way, in their sort of masculine way. And here on the central area we have a confluence of the super hot, you know, of course we know about the mantle, the magma and all those sorts of things. Well, they've turned that, you know, into the geography or geology that we all learned. But you know, now being an electromagnetic universe, then what you've got is a hot electrical energy, cold above, and in between you've got a sort of Goldilocks zone, just as they tell us. And that Goldilocks zone creates certain amounts of cooling, moisture. Sorry, warming. Both cooling and warming. So the cooling of the hot into what do we know as rock, and a melting of the cold, which causes precipitation and the oceans are obviously a mix of that, whereas the precipitation, a mix of the bottom, hard material, rock material, and the top, the water, the clean water, or what we call water. And then its gas is the ether, and its liquid is precipitation from the frozen top. And I think that when the sun travels, the energetic point that is the sun travels through the sky, across the sky, in whichever way you prefer, the circular model or the straight line model, across the sky, it causes a melting more near the epicenter of the sort of sun's main pulse, which appears to be the equator, that region, and then less obviously up in other regions. Precipitation isn't immediately a consequence, so one assumes that it causes a gradual shift, sort of shifting away from super chilled to less chilled to chilled enough to be like -50, where they fly the planes, and then becoming rain as it gets lower down. Adding anyway. So I'll just throw that into the pot there and let you guys stew on that. And you can tell me what you think in the comment section. I look forward to that. And maybe doing more. I definitely want to do more street activism soon. But more talks with people. I don't have a laptop at the moment. I can't do anything really substantial with my mobile phone. Andrea and I are both feeling like we could really do with a laptop. It doesn't have to be brand new. Same as the car. I put out a request for a car. If someone has access to a car that's in decent nick that I could use for a while, that would be cool too. If it was big enough to be like add some value from moving around like a turtle or tortoise rather. So I'm going around this town also with a few Paul on the plane business cards that I found that I'd taken from the camper van on the tour, because I didn't think they would get used, so I would find a use for them in the fullness of time, and that time is now. What does that say? Takingspace.net. All on the plane. I hope he doesn't mind me using these, but the only thing NASA ever taking to space is your imagination. I got a box full of these. I'm going to hand them out because obviously I haven't got around to getting my own yet. Let's go.